Hello and welcome everyone to my live. I am so freaking nervous about today's live because I have not been live in about 2 months now. A bit of a life update. My nephew unfortunately passed away early April of this year, and it was very, very difficult for me to overcome that. And I had taken a very, very long break. Well, by very long, I mean a couple of months from social media, but I am ready to empower women to really, really know their worth and to love themselves unconditionally so that you can attract a high value, healthy masculine energy man. A man who keeps his word, a man who knows how to solve problems, a man who is a good decision maker. Someone who takes your problems away instead of adding problems to your life. Someone who adds to the life that you have created for yourself instead of seeing you as his source of income, his source of emotional support, his source of who's going to clean and cook for me. A man who genuinely loves women, and so he will love you. But I'm very, very happy that I have the privilege to be able to come back when I felt ready. I'm so excited to be here, and I really want to treat this live as a Q&A for the most part. If you are seeing me for the first time, do let me know in the comments, where are you tuning in from, so that you and I can connect and get to know each other. I'm really, really excited to be here. A lot has happened, but I will be sharing more through my posts with everything that kind of changed in my life over the past couple of months. But as of right now, welcome. No more sad things, no more sad stories. I'm here to answer your questions. I'm here to empower you. I'm here to guide you, to give you advice when it comes to your romantic life. So again, if you're seeing me for the first time, let me know where you're tuning in from, and if you are currently single, if you're in a situationship, or if you are in a relationship. I would love to hear. If you're seeing me for the first time, I should definitely go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Shanza. I am a dating and relationship coach. Hi, Jenna, my love. I missed you as well. Thank you so much. That makes me so happy. Thank you for being here today as well. My nephew unfortunately passed away, and it was just too much. I had to take a break from social media and spend time with my family, but I am back now. I worked through, the grieving period. I worked through, got support from my coach, from my community, from my family, and I'm back. So, as I was introducing myself, my name is Shanza. I'm a dating and relationship coach. I help women embrace their inner, natural, divine feminine energy. I help women feel empowered. I help women really fall in love with themselves, understand their worth, and so that they can attract healthy masculine energy man. The biggest thing about my work is feminine energy. And it honestly feels so frustrating how feminine energy has become a trend. And I feel that no one actually understands what being in your feminine is like. Some people think that being in your feminine is being weak and submissive and not having a say and being a doormat, which is so not true. Some people think that being feminine means that you have to be a total mean, rude, B-word, and snappy and dismissive, which is also not true. Some people think feminine is all about just how you dress. So they'll immediately think of like pretty pink dresses. They'll think about long hair, jewelry. And yes, the way that you dress is important. But if it's not authentic to you, then that's not feminine. Feminine energy is very, very big on pure, raw authenticity. And why is feminine energy so important? So I'm going to explain that here. Here's the thing about feminine energy and what the law of attraction, well, not the law of attraction so much, but more so the law of polarity. So the law of polarity is basically that opposite energies attract each other. And what that means is feminine energy attracts masculine energy attracts feminine energy. Now, what is that? Why is that important? What does that mean for relationships? this is where I'm getting at. By show of hands, and by the way, this live, treat it like a very interactive live. Do comment your thoughts, do ask your questions, engage with me, interact with me. The more that you talk to me through the comments, the more that it makes me feel more at peace, or more at ease, I should say, because I'm not very camera comfortable, if that makes sense, even though I do make content, even though I do post and things like that. But it definitely really fuels my energy when you interact with me, so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself. But as I was saying, with the law of polarity, okay, by a show of hands, let me know in the comments, ladies, how many of you ever have in the past, or you currently are in a relationship or situationship with a type of man? You've dealt with a man who was in his feminine energy. And what that looks like is a man who is low effort, lazy, he's wishy-washy, not very consistent, a man who basically relies on you to move the relationship forward. He relies on you for anything to be moved forward, let alone the relationship. So this can look like, if you don't call him, there's no phone calls happening. If you don't text him, there's no communication. If you're not the one planning the dates, then there are no dates happening. If you are not the one that is, offering to move to the next milestone, whether it's in life, whether it's in the relationship, not much is happening. It's like you have to do it for him. Now, when you get into a serious long-term relationship with a man, then I can't talk. What it looks like to be in a relationship with a feminine energy man is that it puts you in your masculine. You end up doing more than he does. So if you're living together, you are responsible for the way the household works. So the cooking, the cleaning, the laundry, if there's any issues, if there's any plumbing issues, if there's any electricity, power issues, whatever the case may be, when it comes to paying bills, you are definitely, if you're not paying at least half of them, you're paying for majority. You're involved. Or I should say the other way around. If you're not paying majority of the bills, you're at least paying half of them with him. You're splitting it. When it comes to date nights, you're the one choosing the location, the time, working out both of your schedules. It seems like you are doing the most. Anyone feel that way? I know I have been in relationships like that myself. Yes? Anyone? You want to raise your hands? AB said, that's my current situation. Yeah, and it's frustrating, isn't it? And the thing is, unfortunately, now this is where polarity comes into play. You said that's your current situation, but you also made a sad emoji face, right with it, which I'm assuming means you're not so happy that that's your situation. You wish that things were different. Am I correct? I know that when I was in that position, I wanted things to be very different. That's tiring. Exactly. I shared this story before. I'm going to share it with you guys again. Honestly, it's embarrassing, but it's also funny now to think about it. When I was single, I once dated a man who was homeless, no car, so no place, no car, no job. Okay. And I was young, I was dumb, I didn't know what I was doing. I literally felt like every ounce of my energy was drained dealing with that man. Oh my goodness. So basically, I'm gonna fast forward to one of our dates that we were on, which was a walk in a neighborhood, which was further away from the place that I was staying at the time. And we were in the neighborhood, but we were further away. I was on my girly time, and it was in the middle of the afternoon, in the middle of the summer. So it was really hot, and I was on my girly time. And girls, when it's time, to go do what you got to do and take care of yourself and change things, you need to go to the restroom, right? And I'm talking, I am hot, I am sweaty, I am annoyed. I was walking in the middle of the neighborhood in the middle of summer, in the middle of the afternoon, and I had to go to the restroom. Mind you, again, this man did not have a car. So it's not like he could just go grab his car, take me closer to the house. So I could, what? No, 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 no. We were walking, and that was supposed to be the date. I mean, he didn't even have a couple dollars to get me a water bottle. Okay. It was, and that's the thing with dealing with a feminine energy man who is low effort and lazy, who wants everything served to him for free on a silver platter without him having to earn it, without him having to work hard for it. He basically, and unfortunately, and I'm not, this is a tricky thing to say because it doesn't apply to all men, but majority of the times you can tell if a man is in his masculine or in his feminine based on his success level. And this doesn't necessarily mean financial. Financial success is a kind of like a byproduct of a healthy masculine energy. We see healthy masculine energy in men. We see it in women. And the thing about masculine energy and money is that it kind of goes hand in hand. When a man is in his masculine, he makes really good decisions, and for that reason he's successful, and because he's successful, the money comes in, right? So going back to the story here, he did not make very good decisions, and me being young and dumb myself, I decided that it was a good idea to listen to the plan that he came up with in the situation where I'm like, oh, like if I don't go to the restroom right now and take care of what I need to take care of, then like I could be everywhere, right? Like it's gonna get everywhere. I'm on my girly time. I need to get to a restroom ASAP. This man suggests, or I should say this boy, this man-child suggested that I go door to door knocking on these people's houses. I can't believe I even did. It's so embarrassing. He said I should go knocking door to door and asking people if I can use their restroom. And I did. And the first door that I knocked on was an elderly woman who opened the door, and she looked at me and she looked at him, and I said, you know, here's the situation. This is my boyfriend, whatever. I'm on my girly time. May I please use your restroom, because we were walking and we walked a bit further from our home, and now I need to go to the restroom, and it's a bit of a walk, and it's an emergency. The lady looks at me and basically she said no, and she looked very suspicious of us, as you know anyone would be. You have a random young couple knocking at your door asking to get in your house, you know. Anyways, so basically she said no, and eventually I was like, okay, like this is probably not a good idea. We decide that we're gonna, you know, like I'm like, okay, whatever. We go around the corner and a cop car pulls up to us. The lady had called the cops, you know, saying that there's a couple and this is what they look like. And, you know, mind you, I look the way I look, and he's a black man. And, oh Lord. This was the moment that was like an eye opener for me, where we go, I'm standing, so the cop car pulls up. This man, who's buff, by the way, okay, he's got muscles, he's taller than me, he's stronger than me, decides to stand behind me while I handle the situation with the cop. And the fact that he went and stood behind me was my eye opener. This is where I was like, what am I doing? This is not what I want. I don't want to be put in a situation where it's scary. It's scary when a cop just pulls up and, you know, they're saying that we got a call about you guys knocking on people's doors, blah, blah, blah. And I had to play it off and lie to the cop, and I acted like I didn't know anything. And I'm trying to save butt, mine and his. And the fact that I was trying to protect him, literally physically standing behind me, was an eye-opener. And it's funny, but it's also sad. Yes, I definitely felt so embarrassed. And I remember I'm already on my girly time, I'm already irritated, I'm hot, it's literally in the afternoon in the summer, and I'm like, I have to go to the restroom, I have to take care of my business, I'm like everything. And then like him standing behind me was the cherry on top, and I was like, this is not gonna work. It is so freaking frustrating. It is so draining and tiring to deal with a man who won't budge. And it's like you feel like if I could give an analogy, it would feel like I would physically trying to push someone, like a very heavy piece of furniture. Like I'm like, he's just not budging, and I'm pushing and pushing and pushing. Whether it was to move the relationship forward, whether it was to inspire him to do bigger and better in life, it just feels like it's so much. And then not to add that you end up being their financial advisor, you end up being their therapist, supporting them through their emotions. It's so much. I've been there personally. It's the last thing you want to do as a woman is be in your masculine energy in a relationship, because it physically is not good for you. The more that you are consistently in your masculine, the more that you are releasing your cortisol level, like you have high cortisol levels, which is basically the stress. And the more that you're putting that stress on yourself physically, and that's not what women are biologically wired for. And for that reason, you get sick. You physically develop physical problems. It's not good for you. It's not good for your heart. It's not good for your reproductive systems. A lot of women that are hypermasculine, majority of hypermasculine women suffer from reproductive issues, suffer from irregular periods. They suffer from having PCOS, endometriosis. Like it's more than just, oh, I want him to, pay my bills and, change my car tire. No. Women were never designed to act like men. If we were supposed to be men, we would just be men. But we're not men. We're women. And the beauty of being a woman is that you get to do both. Nothing is more powerful than a woman who knows how to balance her masculine energy and her divine feminine. When she moves with her feminine and her masculine, limitless. That's when you attract the love you want. That's when you attract the money you want, the success you want, the health you want. That's when you can have it all. Pure abundance. And I'm not just saying this, just pulling it out my rear end. I'm saying it because I've been there personally, and I was able to turn my own life around. I was able to go from now, what I just described to you, the man that was homeless, no job, no car, no nothing, to now married to my husband, my healthy masculine energy man, who literally takes care of the smallest needs of mine to the biggest needs of mine, who loves giving me gold sets just because, who gave me my new car that I drive now on our anniversary, who puts cold water in the fridge because he knows I like my water bottles cold. A man who literally, all I need to do is make sure that I tell him what it is that I want and what it is that I don't want. That's all I need to do. And he goes into overdrive to make it happen. And I'm not saying this to brag. I'm saying this because it's all about polarity. So, I talked about what the relationship is like when you're with a man who's in his feminine, which causes you to be in your masculine. So let's talk about the relationship. Oh my God, it was my curtain. I thought someone was outside my door for a second. Freaked me out for a second. It's my curtain. Everything is fine. Let's talk about relationships where the man is masculine. You know the things that I no longer have to worry about? Would you like to know, ladies? I feel like I'm just rambling on and you guys are not interacting with me. Are you still there? Hello? Are you here? Would you like to know what a relationship feels like when you're with a healthy masculine man? There are things that you no longer worry about. There are things that, and it was for me, if I'm being honest, I would basically, I knew what I wanted, but it was different when I actually experienced it. Being with a healthy masculine man, I don't have to worry about the bills anymore. I don't have to worry about, oh my God, what if we run out of money? I don't have to worry about, oh my God, I have to cook. If I don't cook, then what are we going to eat? I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to worry about, oh, my family needs something. How is it going to happen? Everything, all of my problems are literally taken care of. If I need help, if I need guidance for my own business, he's like literally so smart. If there's big decisions that need to be made, he makes them. If there's, if my car needs gas, it's like I don't have to worry about getting gas. If my car needs an oil change, I don't have to worry about it. If my toilet breaks, I don't have to worry about it. If I'm hungry, I don't even have to worry about it. I just say, this is what I have a taste for. That's it. And it's not just about the little benefits of like an easier life, that's always a plus, but on an emotional level. I know that I can be all the way vulnerable with him. I know that I can, if I'm having a bad day and I just tell him I'm having a bad day, he will literally drop everything and try to make me feel better. He will, whether it's by bringing me flowers, whether it's by bringing me my favorite food. Food is definitely my love language. Whether it's, whatever it is, like taking me shopping, whatever. Or just something as simple as a hug and a forehead kiss, that'll do it. So, talking about polarity, how can you stop the pattern? If you're in a or in a loop, in a cycle loop of attracting men who are feminine energy, here's the thing. This is why you're attracting feminine energy men, because opposite energies attract each other. So if you keep attracting feminine energy men, and if you're like, yes, like that's my pattern, that's what I'm always doing, I keep attracting low effort, lazy, broke, they're charming, right? They're very attractive, but there's not much else to them. They don't solve your problems. They add to your problems. They take away from your beauty. They stress you out. It's like, again, it's like trying to make them move forward, and they just won't unless you do all the hard work. If you keep attracting feminine energy men, it's because you are in your masculine energy. You've always been the one to do it all. You might be the older sister in your family. You might be the friend that in your friend group that everybody goes to for advice and guidance and help. You might be the person that's always there for other people, and so you have to be there for yourself. You're the one who had to figure out life on your own. You had to teach yourself how to survive in life on your own. Does that sound like you? Yes or no? I'm not going to continue until you chat with me more, unless you interact with me. Let me know. Does this sound like you, ladies? Am I speaking to hyper masculine energy women? Because that was me. I was the hyper masculine woman. I had to learn life on my own. I had to teach myself things that when I would look over to like my cousins, for example, I'd be like, oh, your dad taught you how to do these things, or your older brother taught you how to do, like there was a male figure in your family taught you, or they provided for you, they protected you. I felt like I did not have that. So I had to do it on my own. I had to teach myself these things. I became hyper masculine, hyper independent. The woman that was like, I don't need any help. I don't need anyone to help me. I'll figure it out on my own. I'll do it on my own. I got it. And that's great for life. That's your masculine energy. That's what keeps you going. This is why most of my clients that come to me, these women are making six figures. It's not a joke. These women have PhDs. They are well-educated women. The clients that I work with are women that have figured out life, but when it comes to their romantic life, that's where they're struggling. Because what happens is that energy of survival, that masculine energy, it makes you bring that masculine energy into your romantic life as well. Because you're such a doer, you end up attracting people, including romantic connections. Not just friends and family, but romantic connections as well. So men who romantically are involved with you, but these are the type of men who are in their feminine energy. So you're the doer, and they need someone to do it for them. And that's what the pattern is going. That's why there's this pattern. what can you do here, right? So I'm not saying that you need to completely like give up your career. If you're making six figures and you work so hard to get to in life where you are, whether you're a female entrepreneur, whether you're an executive in your corporate job, like whatever the hell you're doing, you're successful in terms of um, what do you call it? In terms of life and career and education, you've got it. Like you, if you have a goal, you're gonna accomplish it. That's who you are. And then you get into relationships and you're like, I want to get married, except that you're like, I don't want to feel like I have to take care of this grown man child. You want a family, you want to have children, but you're like, I don't. If I have a child with him, then it's like I have two kids. If you're the one who has to teach him how to invest, how to make money in order to invest, how to be successful, you have to teach him things. It makes you feel rich. Rich. I had to wake my dog up. It makes you feel like you are in charge. And that it's not that there's a problem with it, it's that you feel over time resentful towards your man. You start to lose respect for your man. You don't see him as your man anymore. The more that you see him as your partner instead of your man, you start to feel more and more turned off by him. You end up finding yourself wishing that he would plan more dates, wishing that he would put in more effort. Your birthday comes around and you're waiting for something extravagant, and then there's nothing. There's barely nothing. You think you're going to go on vacation, there's nothing, or there's no funds. You're consistently stuck in a cycle, in a rut of wishing for more, but it's never coming because you're asking from the wrong person. It's like you're asking a little baby goat to roar like a lion, and it cannot. It cannot. You're asking for a feminine energy man child who has zero motivation to better himself. You're asking him to act like a healthy, masculine man who is okay with being uncomfortable. Feminine energy men will choose being comfortable over success, over being better versions of themselves, over healing. They will choose comfort and freebies basically. And that's why they got you. That's why they were able to score a successful, intelligent, hard-headed woman. And when I say hard-headed, I'm talking about independent. You don't take anyone's BS. You're the one to do it all. Like, you don't play any games. You're intelligent. You're successful. You work hard. You're a hard worker. The reason he was able to get with you is because, think of it like a boat. If you're on a boat, only one person has to row the boat. If you're already rowing the boat, there's nothing left for him to do. So what ends up happening is when you're the one rowing the boat of life and surviving, keeping yourself afloat, you are attracting feminine energy men that want to be taken care of. They don't want to row the boat. So the masculine men who do want to put in effort, and that's the thing about masculine men, they enjoy being masculine. They want to put in effort. They want to work hard. They don't enjoy being comfortable. They want to put in work. And that's the difference. If a man is complaining about wanting to put in, like if a man is like, oh, I don't want to do the work, why don't you do it? Women this, men that, blah, blah, blah. That's a feminine energy man, because masculine men genuinely enjoy providing and protecting for the people that they love. So if he's complaining about providing and protecting, that's a feminine energy man. That is the easiest way to detect if a man is feminine or if a man is masculine, is to see what he wants to do. Does he want to be provided for, or does he want to be the provider? Okay? So if you're a woman, whether you're single, and again, I want to ask you again, who in here is currently single? Like, you're completely single. Who in here is a single woman in a relationship? And what I mean by that is you have a boyfriend or you're in a relationship with someone. There is a significant other, however, there's no ring on your hand. So you are single, but you're not single. You're cut off from the market, but you're single though. Who in here is in a situationship? Who in here is in a committed relationship? I would love to hear, ladies. What is currently your relationship status, if you don't mind sharing with me? My leg just went numb. Husband. Okay, so you're married. Awesome, awesome. Anyone else in here? Who in here is currently single, in a committed relationship, in a situationship, talking to an ex? Okay. Who else? Who else? Who else? Any single ladies in here today? Single ladies, or again, single but in a relationship. So you're in a relationship with no ring. And by the way, for all my ladies, someone said talking to an ex, and you said you're married. How long have you been married for? And when it comes to your ex, by the way, so tell me about your man, the man that you're dealing with. So whether it's your ex, whether it's your husband, are they feminine energy or are they masculine energy? Are they feminine or are they masculine? Do they provide or do they want to be provided for? How would you describe it? And I'm not talking about just money. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about in all areas of the relationship. We dated for a year and a half and we fell out. He's more feminine energy. Okay. And my question then, Toya, is it Toya? Am I saying that right? Wati, Toya, my love. You're attracted to masculine. However, now it's one thing to desire something and it's another thing. Okay, here's how the energetics work. Victoria, got it. That's pretty. Toya, Victoria, I love it. Okay. Well, Toya, Victoria, my question is, you desire masculine. Sorry, my braces cut the inside of my lips sometimes, so it's like painful when I talk sometimes, but okay, so you would desire masculine man, okay? It's one thing to desire this, but then it's another thing when you're energetically vibrating at a frequency, in a wavelength, where you're attracting feminine, which means that you are masculine. If you, and I use my hands to explain this, so let me use my hands for this. If you are in your masculine, so again, masculine is doing, initiating, problem solving, organizing, decision making, all of the above, right? So when you're masculine, if you have a masculine man, you're going to push him away because then you're going to be clashing. Two masculines clash. You're going to be butting heads. It's friction. It's not going to work. Two feminine, there's no action whatsoever. It's stagnant. You're waiting. This is you. You're waiting for him to make a move. He's waiting for you to make a move. And as a result, nobody's making a move. Okay? Then you have a masculine woman with a feminine man. So when one gives, the only way that is harmonious, when in one person gives, the other person receives. So when one is masculine, the other is feminine. One is giving, one is receiving. Again, if both people try to give, imagine this. You and your best friend try to call each other at the same exact time. How is it going to work? Right? If one person calls, the only way for it to work is if the other one picks up. Instead of going, oh, you called and I called at the same time, or no one calls. Do you see what I'm saying? So for it to work, one has to call and the other has to pick up. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So in relationships, if you are consistently masculine, then he is feminine. And I guess this is good news. You can turn that dynamic around. 80% of the time, you can turn that dynamic around. 80%, 8 times out of 10, which means majority of the time, you can switch the dynamic. You can inspire him to be masculine and you go into your feminine. How many of you ladies would love to know how to do that? I've done it. Let me tell you, my husband, the very husband that I love raving about, that I love talking about, he was 50-50 with his ex. His mom used to work, right? And there's nothing wrong with working, but he comes from a family where there was women work. Women also like carry their own weight kind of thing. Women help out, not just financially. I'm talking also like physically, emotionally, in every way. He was 50-50 with his ex until I come into the picture and I was like, I'm not 50-50 nothing. That's not how it's going to work. So I would love to hear, ladies, how many of you want to learn how to get that turned around for yourself? You said you make more money than him. Our communication is not good. He's not emotionally there. Okay, my husband do everything, provide, make food, wash clothes, bring kids, make food for school, but the communication is not good. So if he is not emotionally there, my darling, here's the thing. It's not that men are emotionless creatures. Men feel their emotions, to be honest with you, a lot more intensely than women do. However, from a very young age, men have been taught to not express emotions. Because when they were little and they would cry, as young, like 5-year-old boys, for example, what was the first thing that their parents told them? Don't cry like a little girl. You're a man. Men don't cry. They were literally, it's engraved in them from a very young age that if you cry, you're weak. If you show emotion, you're weak. So what do a lot of men do with their emotions? They either turn it into anger and rage, which is unhealthy. And because they know that it's unhealthy, a lot of them will crush it within them, shut down. And that's when we think that they're emotionally not there, when in reality, they don't know how to express their emotion because they don't feel safe to be vulnerable. And unfortunately, this is where, and I talk about this, now this is where I teach my clients emotional mastery for this very reason. That if a man is shutting down, it's because he does not feel, and this is going to sting a little bit, okay? So bear with me. But when a man is shutting down emotionally, that is your biggest sign that you are losing him. Okay? Because when men fall in love, when a man falls in love when he emotionally connects with you. Okay? So I'm pretty sure you're married to him, you have kids with him, you've been with him, right? In the beginning, you were able to create that emotional safe space for him, which no longer is there. And I understand in relationships, it's a lot of you did this, I did this, you're upset with me, I'm upset with you. And we tend to hold on to things. This is why a lot of relationships, they go from being so loving and so sweet to being built on past resentments of each other's mistakes. The fact that you two are still together, this is where you need to let go of the resent that you have for him. For if he's made mistakes, then you need to actually, if you want to stay with him, you have to forgive him and you have to move forward for yourself. You don't have to say or do anything to him. But he's never had a deep conversation with anyone. Exactly. That's the thing. Most men don't know how to be vulnerable emotionally, especially with a woman, because they're so afraid that they will be judged, because that's what happened when they were little. Every time that they were emotional, they were judged. So they don't want that, right? So here's what needs to happen. Here's my advice to you. You need to, and this is how you inspire a man. Here's the thing. You can never, one thing I will say, you can never ever change a man. You can never change a man. You can never make him do something or make him not do something. You can simply inspire him, and it starts with you. You are your man's biggest inspiration. Biggest inspiration. You start working out, he's going to want to look good for you, and so he's going to work out too. You start to go to the church more, pray more, he's going to do it too. You literally can inspire him. Now, yes, on a physical level, we say that the man makes the first move, except on an energetic level, it's always the woman that leads it. Because we are just We're just divine creatures. Women are divine creatures. We are closer to God than men are. That's just the way it is. Because we are the vessels that create life that we then birth into this world. We bring the souls from spiritual realm to the physical realm. We do that physically. Does that make sense? We are more divinely closer to God than men are. Okay? So on an energetic level, we are the leaders in inspiration, even though the men are on a physical level. Does that make sense, first of all? Yes or no? Or did I just confuse you? I hope I didn't confuse you. Does that make sense, ladies? Yes, no, maybe? I'm going to take a sip of water while I wait for you to let me know if all of that made sense before I move forward. Okay, you said yes. Awesome. So here's the thing. Now, what does that mean, right? What does that have to do with the emotional vulnerability? Okay. Now that you understand the concept of how you can inspire a man to do whatever the hell you want him to do, here's the thing. When it comes to inspiring him to be more emotionally vulnerable with you, you need to make that first move of not being necessarily like, oh, like I'm going to start sharing everything with him, which you absolutely should be doing anyways, right? On an emotional level, you should be vulnerable with your man. However, my darling, a lot of the times, what stops us? What stops us women from being vulnerable with our men? There's a lot of fear behind it, isn't it? We're afraid of being judged by our men the same way that he's afraid that he's going to be judged by you for being raw and authentic with our emotions. So for example, if you're on a date with him and you feel like whether he's doing it or not, but you think that he is looking at the waitress and you feel jealous, you feel insecure, maybe she's very beautiful and you're feeling insecure in yourself, what do? Do you tell him? How many of us actually sit there and go, you know what? I feel very jealous right now because I saw your eyeballs move towards her butt and I didn't like that. I feel jealous. I feel so insecure because I'm not built like that. How many of us actually say that? We don't. Do we? Do we actually sit there and tell them exactly what we're thinking and feeling? Do you do that? Yes or no, ladies? Exactly. We don't. And I thank you so much. I want to celebrate you for being honest here, for being yourself here in this chat, because this is the first step. If you can be honest and to really share your truth here, you can do it with the man you lay down with, my love, for sure. The man you have kids with, the man that you're literally going through life with. Okay? And the thing is, it's so scary. It's so much easier to be physically intimate with someone before we ever get close to emotional vulnerability, to emotional intimacy. It's scary. I get it. But it's the key to have your man love you and worship the ground that you walk on, to treat you like the queen that you are. When you yourself are okay with your own emotions enough to be able to not be afraid of them, and you're able to say them exactly how you're feeling. You're able to say exactly what you're feeling, how you're feeling, what you're thinking. Lay it on the table. You put all your cards on the table and you hold nothing back because it feels uncomfortable. It feels scary, but you have to do it regardless. You have to do it regardless. And when you show him, I'm not afraid of emotions, period. This is emotional mastery. I'm not afraid of emotions. I'm not holding my emotions back for any reason. Like, I'm not afraid of him. When you show him you're not afraid of emotions, whether it's your own emotions, whether his emotions, when you show him I'm not afraid of emotions, period, that's when he starts to feel comfortable to open up, when he sees that you're not run by your emotions. Now, here's the thing about emotional mastery. Now, I'm not saying that every time you feel any kind of emotion that you're like going into a rage, you're going into a whole reaction mode. You're not reacting off of your emotions. You're very strategic with your emotions. This is where emotional mastery, if I could break it down in a couple of sentences, this is emotional mastery. Let's say, scenario, right? your husband, your man looks at the waitress's butt, you feel insecure because she is very gorgeous and you're not built like that, and you're like, wow, I feel insecure. And you feel like this, like you're like, how disrespectful, he's so disrespectful for doing this, we're supposed to be on a date. You're angry with him, you feel sad, like there's a part of you that feels sad and insecure and not enough. You don't feel worthy, you feel ugly now. And then there's a part of you that's just straight up angry. You want to like throw your wine in his face, you're so mad, you want to cuss him out, you want to embarrass him in front of the whole place. And you're feeling all this big intense flood of emotions, right? Emotional mastery is being able to, when you feel those emotions, either mute them for a moment where you're actually putting it aside and not completely unbothered, you're still going on about your time, or you go and handle it right then and there. What I mean by handle, you either handle it right then and there, or you mute it for a moment, you do what you're doing, you go home, sit alone, and then you handle it. Whichever way you decide to handle it, right then and there, or you schedule a time with yourself, like you're making an appointment in your own calendar for yourself to handle that emotion. What you're not doing is not addressing that emotion. Before you do it to anyone, you do it to yourself. So emotional mastery is, for example, in that scenario, you're like, you know what, excuse me for a moment. You don't say anything to him. You don't do anything to him. You don't react off of that emotion. You simply go, wow, I'm feeling a lot of emotions that I need to handle. You get your pretty butt up, you go to the restroom, you close the stall, and you sit there and you allow yourself to feel those emotions. You feel them, you feel them, you feel them, you release them. If you want to cry to release them, you go ahead and you cry. If you're feeling angry, like for example, if you're in solitude, you're at home, scream into your pillow. If you have like a punching bag in your garage, you go punch your punching bag. Get it out of your system in a healthy way. So you feel your feeling, you release it in a healthy manner. Once you're grounded, once you're no longer angry, like you got it out your system, like you called your best friend, you vented to her, you cussed your husband out to your best friend, or you cussed him out in your journal, like you got it out of you, then from a calm state, you go to your man and you go, when we were on the date last night, I felt very, very angry because I felt ugly. I felt insecure. I saw that the man that I'm spending my whole life with, I saw his eyes on another woman's butt, and it made me feel so unworthy, and I never want to feel that way. I feel so angry and disrespected. You tell him exactly how you're feeling, and you're not afraid of your emotions because you're not reacting, but you do address it with him. You have communication with him, but from a place where you're telling him, like, these are the feelings I felt. What if he say no, as we did not confront? So are you saying like if he lies about it? And here's the thing about men that lie, right? There are men out there that are habitual liars. They will lie for no reason. Like they'll, in the middle of the day, they're gonna look up at the sky and go, the sky's not blue, the sky is green, right? There are men out there that will lie just because they're habitual liars, and that's a red flag. But if you're dealing now, the thing about people lying, think of like a kid, white lies. A lot of the times, why do we lie? We're afraid of something. When you were a little kid, and let's say you broke a cup, or let's say you stayed out past your curfew, and then you come home and you lie to your parents. Why do you lie? You're scared. When a man is lying, like white lies, why do you think he's lying? Because he's scared. He's scared that if he's like, oh yeah, I was looking at her butt, then he thinks that he's afraid of your reaction. But when you show him that I can feel whatever I feel, whatever emotion comes up for me, I can feel it, and I'm not going to react on it. I'm going to react on it on my own time. Like, I'm going to release that. I'm not going to ignore my feeling. I'm not going to not handle my emotions. And that's the mistake that a lot of women make, which keeps you from having emotional intimacy in your relationships, is when you hold off on actually feeling your feelings and releasing them in a healthy manner. What ends up happening when you don't give attention to your own emotions, and a lot of the times it's because you were brainwashed, as most of us are, majority of us are, We think that when you're sad, that's bad. If you're crying, that's bad. If you're angry, that's bad. Why do we think that's bad? Because these are the feelings that are associated as negative. We see them as negative emotions, and anything negative is bad, right? But if you're happy, then it's good. If you're excited, then it's good, because that's considered positive. We have given our emotions meanings, and that's the problem. What if your emotions don't have to have a meaning? What if just because you're sad, it doesn't mean anything? It's just that you're sad. It's an emotion. It's a temporary emotion. Just the way that you feel happy temporarily is the same way that you feel sad temporarily. You're not happy all the time, and so you're not sad all the time either. Except that when we feel sad, we low-key panic. We're like, oh my God, something is wrong. He made me cry. It's his fault. He's not good for me. We're trying to come up with reasons or meanings to give that emotion, when in actuality, you will always, your emotions, you're going to feel them no matter what. And they will come and they will go. But you don't have to give it meaning. Does that make sense? So, if you feel like, what if he lies to me? Well, let's break that down. If he's lying and not admitting to it, I wonder why that is. What do you do when he lies to you? Do you spaz out? Do you shut down yourself? How do you handle when you're like, oh, he's lying to me? How does it make you feel? And then what do you do with that feeling? What he's used to you doing when you don't feel good is what he is trying to avoid. Let me say that again. What you do with your emotions when you don't feel good is the very thing he is trying to avoid. So he does that by lying. Am I saying that it's your fault that he's lying? No, not necessarily. He's lying because he is lying. He's lying because he doesn't know how to manage a woman who's not feeling her best at all times. That's something he needs to work on. However, on the flip side, it is also your responsibility to show this man that you're not afraid of emotions. If you want him to fall deeply in love with you, which is this is the key to a man's heart. When your heart connects with his heart, the man falls in love. The way to connect the hearts is through emotions, through emotional intimacy. So when you show a man that you are not afraid of your own emotions, you open the door for him to be comfortable being himself with you. And when a man can let down his walls and he can open up to you on an emotional level without the fear of she's going to judge me, she's going to leave me, she's going to reject me, she's going to think I'm a weak man. When you see him crying and you can actually comfort him and you can be there for him, hold space for him without any judgment. When he can express that something really made him angry and it doesn't throw you off your rocker. Like, you want to imagine, like, that's what makes a woman, what makes a woman so high value is when you know how to stay calm during a storm. Whatever he does or doesn't do, whatever he says or doesn't say, whatever external factors are around you, they don't affect you. And this is where I would love to bring up the wizard Liz, because this whole situation that she's going through is such an incredible example of a woman who stayed calm through the storm. The average woman would not have been able to stay calm no matter what. And I feel like she's getting a lot of hate. That's a different topic. But I feel that if you look at her as an example right now of everything that she's went through with the whole situation, she did not, she kind of reacted, but then she immediately caught herself and she was like, wait a minute, what am I doing? Let me go back to who I am. Let me remember who the F I am and get it together. And that's exactly what she did. She stood by her word. She did not go against what she herself preaches. And that is such a high value, high quality trait to have as a woman. When other people can do the most terrible things to you, but you you're strong on the inside. Does that make sense? You can be strong on the inside, calm on the inside, but you don't, whatever is happening outside of you, the external factors, they do not impact you. Does that make sense, ladies? So if you're worried about, oh, he's lying, take a step back and let's reflect. Why do you think he's lying? What would happen if he admitted to it? Or what do you think he thinks would happen if he were to admit to it? Would you give him the silent treatment? Would you shut down? Would you like spaz on him, and would you hold on to it forever? How would you react to it if he was to admit it? A big fight. Exactly. Exactly, my love. Thank you. Thank you for being so honest. Thank you for being honest and for opening up and being truthful. That if he was to admit to it, instead of appreciating the honesty and setting boundaries so that it doesn't happen again, it's going to be a big fight. And the thing is, a lot of the times the big fight is happening because you have so much suppressed emotions that are looking for a release. And the fight ends up being the opportunity for you to release those emotions. And that's why emotional mastery is all about releasing those emotions on your own time, in private, in your journal, with your best friend, with someone that you trust, like a safe person, could be a therapist, could be a coach. Releasing it on your own time, and then having a calm, collected communication with him. This communication is where you have the opportunity to express how you feel and set boundaries. And then you move forward. And this is where you show a man that I'm not the kind of woman that's going to play with you. You're either going to treat me the way that I want to be treated, or you can walk. Because I'm not going to sit here, get out of my character just because you did something that I don't like. Because you are your own person. If you want to look at her butt, shoot, look at 10 million women's butts. I don't care. That's what you want to do with your eyes. You do that. That's fine. I will not tolerate it. So I'm going to choose what I do after you disrespect me and my boundaries. Does that make sense? So he can do whatever he wants to do. But it's up to you what you do with yourself. It's always about what you do with yourself. A lot of women fall into the pattern of, I want him to do this. I want him to stop doing that. I wish that he would, It's all about what he. What about you? You show people how to treat you. You show people what you will and will not tolerate. You don't tell them. You show them. So let me give you an example. Because my man, my very husband, and that's the thing, I always say this, men look for the big things, such as his character, what kind of person he is, what is his character, his mentality, the big things, the core beliefs. Look at all that. Look at if he's masculine energy or not. Look at all those things. But when it comes to the little things, you get to show him how to treat you, or he can go. So I talked about this earlier in today's live. So I talked about it earlier in today's live when I said my husband is the same man who now is 100% provider and protector for me, is the same man who was a 50-50 man in his past with his ex. I say that because here's the thing. I was not the one that was like, no, how dare you ask me for half? How dare you expect me to pay for half of it? No, I didn't do any of that. Or I didn't go and sit and go, no, you're going to have to pay for all of this stuff for me to blah, blah, blah. I didn't do that. I did not do that. I simply showed him that, this is like way in the beginning. Let me tell you. And it's not just about money. Way in the beginning, when my family was moving from our house into an apartment, he literally was the one who by himself was moving all the furniture for my parents. And I remember it was me, him, and my dad in the U-Haul that he drove from one to the other house. And me and my dad, we went inside and he was bringing stuff in, and he looked at me and he goes, my husband at the time, he goes, He goes, are you not going to help? Because I was just standing around watching my dad and watching him like bring the stuff in. And he was like, are you not going to help? And this is where I was like, I started laughing. And I remember I was like, help with what? I opened the door so that y'all could bring the stuff in. Help with what? I was genuinely confused because I know that you're not asking me to lift heavy furniture when there's two grown men, my dad and himself, bringing it in. Why would I lift it? So I remember looking, and he was confused because he wasn't used to a woman that genuine, like the mentality. It was a clash. But the clash didn't scare me because you're either going to be the man I want you to be, or you're not, because I'm not going to be something that I'm not. And the thing about and that's what I say, majority of the time, you can, remember I said when you're masculine, he's feminine, majority of the time you can get that flipped simply when the man is divine masculine from within. Deep down, if he has divine masculinity within him, you can flip it. And I say majority of the times you can, simply because majority of the men are healthy masculine men deep down. They just have not come across a divine feminine energy woman to evoke the masculinity out of them. In today's world, a lot of women are hyper masculine. They're in survival. They've been failed by their fathers, by their older brothers, by the male figures in their family, by their uncles, by their grandpas, unfortunately. And so women are hyper masculine, which, okay, that's great because it helped you in your career. So it's not all that bad, right? It helped you get educated. It helped you get your career. It helped you make the money, the success, the life that you created for yourself without anyone's help. You should be insanely proud of yourself. You did that. You, all by yourself. Now, when it comes to your romantic life, this is where you show up in your feminine energy. This is where you show up in your divine feminine energy, in your queen energy, okay? So again, a queen is not just feminine, right? Like, I want you to think of a literal queen of a kingdom. What does a queen do? She makes decisions. She solves problems. She's very giving. She organizes charities and fundraisers and all sorts of things to help the needy and the poor of her community. She's always giving. She's always empowering, right? But she has so much grace. She doesn't tolerate any BS. She has boundaries that you cannot cross. And when you cross those boundaries, there's some consequences that you have to deal with, some more severe than others, depending on which boundary you crossed. I have a boyfriend after our coaching session. He's masculine and takes care of me. I love that so much. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you. So happy for you. Yes. Love that. I'm celebrating you. I love it. Thank you, love. Thank you for sharing that with everyone. Thank you so much. The thing is, ladies, you really need to remember that you hold the power to have the relationship you want. You can either settle and pray and hope and pray and try to change a man into being the lion that can roar, or you can simply show him what you're okay with and what you're not okay with, and then go from there. Majority of the times, these men, because again, men are created men for a reason. Women are created as women for a reason. If he's, majority of the men are masculine, okay? You just have to show up as the feminine to either evoke his masculinity, or you can see him for what it is, not a masculine man. And then you can walk away. But majority of the men are masculine energy men. You just have to show up in your feminine to evoke that masculinity. Because from as old as time, when women with the whole feminist or the whole feminism movement, men had to take a step back. Otherwise, they were considered to be bad men. It was a survival thing. Why do men do the things that they do? because they want to because they want to, mate with you, right? So when the feminism movement came about, men knew that if I don't support her having her own bank account, having her own money, her own career, her education, if I'm not a feminist, then I won't get girls. I won't get laid. I need to impress women. I need to be on their side so that they're impressed with me. If they're impressed with me, then they'll give me a chance so I don't die alone and single and lonely forever. And so they took a step back. They had to learn to put the oars down so that you as a woman could pick up the oars and feel like an independent woman. And that, I love that feminism movement so much because it allowed us women to have our own voice, to have our own rights, to be able to walk away from a cheating husband, walk away from a cheating, abusive husband at that. It gave us so much freedom, and I'm really, really proud of all the women that worked so hard for the rest of us women to have that privilege and that freedom. Absolutely. However, in the fight for equal rights, we definitely lost touch with our femininity. We ourselves started to teach our daughters and our granddaughters that being feminine was weak. And as a result, more and more women try to be like men, and you accomplish this. Again, you get educated, you got the degree, you went to college, you got the degree, you went and got the job you wanted, you started your business, you're making money. But when it comes to your romantic life, when it comes to your home, you're out of touch of your feminine energy. And as a result of this whole dynamic shift, more and more men started to tap into their feminine as more and more women were tapping into their masculine. When it comes to romantic, it doesn't mean that you have to give up your hard-earned success. It doesn't mean that you have to play dumb. It doesn't mean that you have to do any of those things. You don't have to dim your light just for a man. F that. We don't do that. The thing about healthy masculine man is that he's not looking for a damsel in distress, a woman to save. Even though that's the masculine instinct, that's not, in today's day and age. Healthy masculine men know very well that women are well educated, women are very well successful. They're actually looking for a woman who can hold her own, but they don't need you to do that. So he wants you to know how to row a boat, but he's not asking for you to do it. He only wants you to be able to do it. Lord forbid if something happens to him and you have kids with him. He wants to make sure that nothing bad happens to you or his kids after he's gone. He's going to make sure to set that up. But in today's day and age, a man who's like, I don't need you to work, is different from a man who's like, you're not going to work because I said so and I'm the man. That's toxic masculinity. There's a difference between healthy and toxic, or healthy and wounded masculinity. Does all of that make sense, ladies? Or did I lose you? I did kind of go ramble on for a little bit. Let me see through my comments. I feel like I missed a few comments here. Excuse me. Khanya said, you look snatched. Thank you, babe. Thank you so much, my love. Thank you. I appreciate you. I cannot wait to get these braces off. So I can have my teeth straightened and beautiful. Toxicity is doing all the work. How did you get so snatched? I'm wearing like really loose clothes. How can you even see? I definitely did lose weight, yes. Third type of men toxicity. Is this a question? I'm not sure I'm understanding what you're saying, love. I don't know why it's like going over my head right now. By the way, oh, ladies, so announcement here. I have decided that I will be posting my TikTok lives on my YouTube channel. So What that means is basically I had a few women, not a few, I had a lot of women asking me, where can we rewatch the lives? Because I do Q&As on my live, I give advice on my lives, I try to give as much value as I can on my lives here on TikTok. And I had women asking me how you could rewatch them, like the replay. And I decided TikTok gives you an option. Oh, TikTok gives you an option to like save the videos, the live videos, the replays. Once I have them saved, I will be posting them one by one on my YouTube channel. So what I ask of you, ladies, is if you enjoyed this live and if you would like to watch the rest of my previous lives, they might be out of order here and there just because I haven't done that before, but I'm planning on doing it now. But I will be posting them on YouTube. So if you enjoyed this, I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's such in baby steps right now. It's so small because I recently made my YouTube like a while ago. Not too long ago, but definitely not recent. But I would love to pour more into my YouTube, and I figured it was the best way to have the replays available for you guys. So if you guys are interested, I would love for you to subscribe to my YouTube, which is Coach Shanza as well. I'm gonna try to see if I can, because that's my username on YouTube. Let me pull it up. Oh, Susan, thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you. I love that. Thank you for the support and the love. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can find, it's Coach Shanza. And I have 14 subscribers right now. So I would love to grow. I would love to grow my live, or not my live, my YouTube. I would love to grow my YouTube. So I will be posting my TikTok lives replays on my YouTube channel. I don't know why I can't talk, but hopefully that got across. It is Coach Shanza. I literally just pulled it up. This is what it looks like on my YouTube. Can you see it? So it's Coach Shanza. It's the same name is up here. It's on YouTube. So make sure to subscribe to me. Make sure to interact with me. I have not posted any replays yet, but I will be posting them as we go. Okay? Any questions, ladies? I have been on live for a couple hours now. I would love to hang out for longer. Good evening. You look different. What changes you did? You look great. I'm going to be very transparent. I definitely lost weight. I got some lip filler and I got braces. So that's really all I did. But the lips ended up being way bigger than I had anticipated. And now I'm waiting for them to kind of go down. But I kind of like it. So I don't know. I like it, but I also feel like it's a little bit too big for my face. But yeah, that's all I did so far. And by so far, I think that's actually enough. I don't plan on doing much moving forward. In fact, I need to get my eyebrows done because yeah. Hello, Stan. Hi, love. Hello. Welcome. By the way, ladies, if you're seeing me for the first time and you have not already, I would love for you to grab my free step-by-step single to engage dating guide, which is linked in my bio. I would love for you to grab it. I would love for you to, if you're single and you want to tap into your feminine, you want to overcome your dating patterns, you want to actually inspire men to commit to you and not just see you as a temporary girlfriend, I think it's a great place to start. If you start with getting my free guide, it's a free PDF. It's in my bio. It's literally the exact 5 steps that I personally took from going from single to having my dream relationship with my husband. And I have a lot of great announcements on the way, by the way. My ex came back only because he thought I was taken again. Well, he's definitely afraid to lose you, Melissa. But it's not about necessarily, like, oh yeah, he came back. Did he come back better? Or And did anything change, or is everything still the same? Because he's an ex for a reason, and if nothing is being changed, then I don't suggest refueling anything that was draining you in the past, unless there's changes and things will be different this time around. How much weight did I lose? I lost about 20 pounds, I want to say. I was getting to like an extra large in size, and then I lost enough to be able to fit very well into a medium. So that's about 20 pounds for me. I still wanted to lose more weight, but I kind of didn't do that because I felt comfortable with where I was. But yes, ladies, if you have not already, and if you're new, if you're seeing me for the first time, I highly encourage you to go ahead and thank you so much. Thank you, love. I highly encourage you to grab my dating guide that's in my bio if you want to go from single to happily engaged. Oh, I got one subscriber. I got one subscriber on my YouTube. You guys, thank you. I wish I could see. How can I see who did it? How can I see who subscribed? Why is it not giving me the option to see? I don't know who subscribed, but the one person that did subscribe, thank you so much. I don't know how to do the heart. Hold on. There we go. Thank you so much. That means so much to me. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you. That's so incredibly sweet. Thank you so very much, you guys. That is so sweet. I love, love, love that. All right, ladies. With that, I'm going to go ahead. Susan, thank you, love. Thank you so much. I will be making sure to post my YouTube, I will be making sure to post my TikTok live replays in my YouTube. It means so much to me that you subscribe, Susan. I really appreciate it. And if anyone else does have YouTube and you do want to be able to replay these lives, I'm going to be posting them on my YouTube so you can access them as well. Ladies, I have been on live for a while now. I do feel my back starting to hurt. I'm ready to eat some food, have some dinner, and then go ahead and, go about my evening and snuggle up with my husband and just go to sleep. We definitely changed our routine where we go to bed very early now. Like the latest that we go to sleep is like 8 p.m. Typically around 6 or 7 we're sleeping, and then we wake up pretty early around 3 or 4 in the morning. So it's just a whole change of routine, but it's definitely serving me very, very well. But yeah, it's almost my bedtime, so I'm getting ready to hop off now. I'm sending you guys so much love. Thank you so much for being on my live, for interacting with me, for asking your questions. It really fuels my energy when you interact with me, so thank you so much. Susan, thank you again for subscribing to my YouTube. All my single ladies, if you want to go from single to engaged, or even if you're in a relationship, what I will say, these 5 steps, they're not necessarily designed to take you from single to engaged. These are the steps to inspire you, to inspire the man you're dealing with to tap into his highest masculine self, to commit to you and to give you the relationship that you want. So even if you're in a relationship and you want to turn your romantic life around, I highly encourage you to grab the free guide that's in my. It's free. You have nothing to lose. You said I have 2. What? Oh my God! Thank you. Thank you so much. That makes me so happy. Thank you so much. Let me make sure that I am following you back. That's so sweet. Thank you so much. Let me make sure I'm also following Susan. Thank you, Susan. Thank you so much. You ladies are amazing. I love you guys. Thank you. I will be posting the replay. Like I said, it's almost my bedtime, so not today, but most likely tomorrow. I do have a bit of a busy schedule tomorrow, but I'll try to get it done in the morning. so that it's there around noonish. If there are any difficulties, I will post about it on my Instagram, which is also Coach Shanza. So check my story. If I have any delays for any reason, I will be posting that. I shouldn't have any delays unless there's technical glitches, which I hope I don't get tomorrow, but I will try to get the video up by tomorrow by around noonish time. With that, ladies, I'm hopping off. I feel tired and hungry, so I'm gonna go get some food, get some rest. You guys are the best. I love you guys so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all your love, your support, your questions, your subscribing to me. Thank you so much. I love you guys. I'll see you next time. Bye.